Good day, my friends and family. For decades, Nigeria was seen as the unquestionable power inside ECOWAS, the region, the regional anchor, the final authority. But today, that authority is being openly challenged, not by the West, but by African states themselves. The Sahel has drawn a line, and ECOWAS is cracking right down the middle. This is not about one plane. It's not about misunderstanding. This is about power, sovereignty, and regional order that no longer works the way it used to be. Nigeria has long played a central role in West Africa, economically, diplomatically, and militarily. Within ECOWAS, Nigeria was the anchor. Peacekeeping missions, political pressure, military backing when the bloc needed muscle. For today, that role went largely unchallenged. For decades, that was unchallenged. But it rested on one assumption that smaller states would accept Nigeria leadership without questions. That assumptions no longer hold. Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger are rejecting that hierarchy. They are asserting sovereignty in ways ECOWAS was never designed to manage. What we are witnessing is not chaos, it's a rebalancing. And a rebalancing we always create frictions. What this really exposed, the Nigerian military aircraft incident in Burkina Faso did not create this crisis, it exposes it. Nigeria said the aircraft made an emergency landing. Burkina Faso said its airspace was violated without authorization. In the past, this kind of issue would have been quietly resolved behind closed doors. No headline, no escalations. This time is different. Burkina Faso detained the aircraft, and more importantly, it stood its grounds. That response sent a signal across the region. Automatic deference was gone. The incident wasn't the problem, the reaction to it was. ECOWAS is under strain. ECOWAS was built on consensus, trust, shared purpose, but consensus today is fractured. Some member states still align closely with Nigeria's traditional leadership role. Others are clearly uneasy, and this hesitation didn't start with the Sahel crisis. For years, ECOWAS has struggled with credibility, from selective sanctions to uneven election enforcement to inconsistent response across member states. Some governments were pressured aggressively, others were given passes. That inconsistency matters because institutions survive and fairness, not force. Once people believe rules are applied selectively, loyalty disappears. The Sahel didn't invented this problem, it simply exposed it. And here's another factor, the youth. And this is where Africans' youth comes in, because this shift isn't happening in a government building alone. Across West Africa, young people are no longer emotionally tied to ECOWAS as an institution. They are tied to outcome, security, dignity, jobs, and sovereignty. To them, ECOWAS represent borders drawn by others, rules enforced selectively, and a system that protects power more than people. That's why the Sahel message resonated, not because it's perfect, but because it speaks the language of ownership. Within institutions, lose when institutions lose the youth, they don't collapse immediately, but they stop commanding loyalty. Let's set this record straight. Some channels are claiming that Ghana told Nigeria to stand down. This is not accurate. Ghana president, while in Nigeria for cultural and traditional honor, called for dialogue, not confrontation. He urged ECOWAS to continue engagement with the Sahel states rather than isolating them. That was not a command, it was a signal that even within ECOWAS there is concern about escalations and fragmentations. Diplomatic caution itself tells you something has changed. The bigger shift, Africa redefining authority. The Sahel states are no longer asking for permission. They are asserting sovereignty. This is not about Nigeria and it's not about ECOWAS. It reflects the border states were expected to align, not questions, align with Western security doctrines, align with inherited regional hierarchy, aligned when it con- when it conflict with domestic reality. That era is ending. What replaced it won't be neat, it won't be comfortable, but it will be Africa driven. Nigeria feels challenged, not because it's weak, but because the rule it once relied on are no longer universally accepted. Regional leadership today is no longer automatic. It has to be earned repeatedly, and that is a reality in ECOWAS today. It is now being forced to conform. This story is far from over. The question is not whether ECOWAS survives, but whether it adapts. If you want clear, grounded analysis of what really happened in Africa, without propaganda, without fear, and without outside framing, subscribe to this channel. We will continue to break this down as it unfolds. This is the West Best Media. My name is Never Potts. Have a pleasant day.